This is the Great Vocal Majority Podcast. Hey everybody, it's Tony Codispoti from GreatVocalMajority.com, YouTube channel, podcast, website, and this is volume 64 of the Great Vocal Majority Podcast entitled, Here We Go Again. Well, Van Jones, the communist from the Obama administration, but I guess that's a redundancy, said that he thinks that Laura Ingraham said something about illegal immigration that was similar to what Nazis would say. Well, I have something to say about this. When the radical left is called out for being dishonest, do they ever back off? Do they ever offer a mea culpa? No. They heap on more dishonesty. This time, they're going after Laura Ingraham, again, for comments she made in a monologue with respect to the effort by Democrats and, frankly, some Chamber of Commerce Republicans to import poverty-stricken illegal aliens into the United States. Ingraham says that most Americans agree with her, and she's right, that it's changing the country, not for the better, and nobody voted for this. This, according to the left, amounts to Nazism. I guess when the race card is worn out, you try the Nazi card. Think about the logic of this on the left. According to just about every poll, illegal immigration is the number one issue on the minds of Americans these days. They want tighter control on who gets into this country legally and an end to people who come here illegally. Those Democrats and Republicans I mentioned earlier, they don't want that. Democrats want a new dependent class since the economic prospects for blacks is improving substantially since Trump became president, and more blacks are being lifted out of poverty than ever before, and Trump's approval rating is beginning to show it. I mean, it's now approaching 30% in some polls, and even the NAACP had a poll that said it was over 20%. So that's a level unheard of for a Republican. And for Democrats, this development is really a near-death experience. If that increase in black voter approval for Trump is real and can be translated into Republican votes, well, the Democratic Party is finished. That is, unless they can successfully import a whole new underclass of people, which is what they're trying to do and what Laura Ingraham was talking about. She was referring to the illegal attempt by leftist Democrats to encourage illegal immigration, particularly of Spanish-speaking people from Central and South America. Ingraham was calling out the Democrats and those Chamber of Commerce Republicans. She nailed them, and their response was typical: name-calling. More than being outrageously slanderous, such an accusation, like calling someone a Nazi, puts Ingraham into a defensive crouch, at least temporarily. But what should concern every American is how these leftist Democrats and Chamber Republicans are attempting to nullify the legal American citizen's voice at the ballot box. They're trying to nullify your vote, folks. They don't give a good goddamn what happened in the 2016 election. In fact, they don't give a damn what happens in any election. They see themselves as your ruling class, America. And you damned well better get along with it, because if you don't, they're going to try to vaporize you the same way they're trying to vaporize Laura Ingraham. This is about power, raw political power. And the left sees a new dependent class as their ticket to permanently sealing themselves into that power position. But they can only get there if you, as an American citizen and a voter, are complacent enough and convinced illegal immigration isn't a problem, sanctuary cities are a good thing, we should have open borders, and treating illegal immigrants as if they're above the law actually makes America a better place. These people think you're stupid. And the only chance you have to stop them, short of an armed insurrection, is to make votes that count this November. Every American has to decide, do they want to elect people who agree with you having a say in American immigration policy? Or are you satisfied with political leaders who want to nullify your influence by flooding the country with tens of millions of people who do not share our language, don't share our culture, don't share our way of life, and obviously, because they're illegal, don't respect the rule of law. That's not Nazism. That's not trying to keep the country white. That's a ridiculous thing to say. It's expecting that people who immigrate here do so legally. It's demanding that the politicians stop dismissing the expressed will of the American people and begin respecting the rule of law themselves. Wouldn't that be a novel idea? That's it for me. I'm Tony Codispoti from GreatVocalMajority.com. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and subscribe to the podcast at GreatVocalMajority.com or find it on iTunes. Thanks for listening.